Hey guys, about a week and a half ago, I got started on this extremely big course for advertising, YouTube advertising. We went through a quality agency, a top quality agency, and so we're getting the training, the mentorship, and the guidance to make sure our ads are going to work out. So I've been going through everything I never knew, everything about video production that you guys have never seen me really do right, and everything about YouTube ads and what it takes for conversions and so on and so forth, how to track it all. So I've been tearing through that stuff for the past couple of weeks. And now that's leading us directly into some of the stuff I want to show you real quick. And I'll tie all this together in a minute, but there are a few pieces coming together here, so just bear with me while I explain it. This is applicable to everyone. So first of all, you guys know when you scroll down,
we did it. This is proof.
This video right here, right, is cool. It's a really cool video. Guys gave me feedback on it and said, that's awesome. 3 minutes in, understood everything that was really important to understand about it. That's just a great video. So we said, all right, let's use that as a starting point. It's going to be kind of like our reference level, okay? We'll do other videos very quickly and coming in from different angles, but we're going to use that as a starting point. To do what? To dial in how you do YouTube advertising the right way, how you set up the campaign. So let me just break this down really, really fast. When you do YouTube advertising, if you just try to put the ad out and say, hey, whole world, here it is, that gets really expensive really fast, right? You're going to find that everyone and their mother and their child is clicking on your ad just in case, or they're all going to see it. Maybe they kind of watch it, maybe they don't. But you're really spending a lot of money because if your ad's interesting, people might watch it just because it's kind of fun to watch, even if it has no application to them whatsoever. So you have to be able to dial the ads in. Some of you guys know that because you're doing it with Facebook. You're asking me about, hey, where do I put a Facebook pixel? A lot of you guys have been doing that with your websites, and bravo to you for that. But YouTube, this is taking it to a really big level. First of all, yes, we make all our money on YouTube ads, right? Well, YouTube videos, you know that, right? My way of making money is making videos. So I know it's the right platform. It's been our primary source of income for over a decade, right? Now, who owns YouTube? Google. So not only can you position your ads to show up for what people look for on YouTube, but you can also target them based on what they were looking up on Google. Or even if they're not looking it up on Google, if they use Google Chrome, then Google's able to track habits that they have and identify, generally speaking, what their gender is. If they own a pet, do they go to Amazon and buy cat litter in bulk? Do they like to go to art auctions? Are they hunting for deals on Wish? So Google figures all this stuff out simply because you use Chrome. And it can tell on every web page you get to how long you spend on the top of the page, whether you scroll down and you kind of browse things and you kind of go down further and maybe you check some points out. And if you come back up, Google's figuring all this out. Like how much time do you spend on each part of a page? Okay, Google actually learns this from everyone's actions, right? And then when you take an action, you click something, Google's figuring all that out, okay? So they're always paying attention to how much time people spend on sites, which sites, what their interest levels are, and they can gather from the kind of stuff you're interested in. If you're watching My Little Pony cartoons, how old you are, what gender you are, not just from that, but by cross-referencing other things you do too. Are you the kind of person who likes to watch political ads or political discussions? And at the same time, you like to watch mountain bikers with GoPro cameras on their helmets who almost fall off cliffs. And at the same time, you love funny cat videos. Well, okay, Google can kind of figure you out, generally speaking, what kinds of things you're interested in. Speaking of the funny cat videos, do you also go to Amazon and order cat litter in bulk? So then that really helps nail down who you are and what your interest levels are and what might be interesting for you to see in the way of an ad. Okay, that's the first part. Audience, defining it. I saw a guy who was training art students how to sell their art online, and he used an example like this. It blew my mind. I never realized you could do this until I got far enough into this training to realize you can do this. Okay. The guy pulled up settings for YouTube and he said, I'm going to select, say let me preface that or you're not going to understand the example. Say you're an art student who does people's pets. Like maybe your favorite pet is a Labrador. And you draw it a la Hugo or a la Rembrandt or somebody like that. And so what you want to do is look for people who have an interest in both Rembrandt and Labradors who are probably female, who are maybe between the ages of 35 to 45, 45 to 55, and 55 to 65. Okay? And you want to make sure that they're interested in buying art. So you also want to know if they go to Sotheby's, for example, a big art store, right? Where you can, and not just if they go to Sotheby's.com, but if they go to a deeper level page where the auctions are, like Sotheby's.com/auctions, okay? Because then, if you target just those people, you're really dialing in the right audience, okay? And so if you try to catch them on keywords, like if they're typing things into YouTube like funny Labradors or funny pets, or training for animals lovers, anything like that, catch them at that moment. See if you can get on their agenda by saying, hey, I do your Labrador a la Rembrandt. Here's examples of my drawings. If you're interested in getting one done professionally for you, click the link, and you're talking to the right people. Okay. Not everyone you talk to is going to say yes, not by a long shot. But YouTube ads are cheap, right? Like a dime a dozen. Well, a dime each, sorry. So if you're paying like a dime each, then you're showing 10 of the right people what you can do for $1. Okay? So as long as your ad kind of catches their attention, because, hey, it is a lot like them, and it leads them through some golden nuggets of points that you can make that benefit them, and then gives them a clear action that they can take, okay? Then you're probably going to do well, okay? Because you're reaching people to dime each, and yet you're probably selling your art for like, $300 each, 450 each. If you find that your cost basis is a little higher than you expected, you could raise the price on the end drawings, right? And if the price was too high, you could offer payments if somebody asks. So you can still make it all happen, and you can take some payments. It's almost like subscriptions, isn't it? It's pretty interesting. Now, you can catch people who are the right audience, who have kind of the right intent. They're sort of in the right mood. You can catch them on keywords that you define that they're looking up. So you can catch them on keywords. You can also catch them based on how recently they've been browsing certain YouTube channels. It's like, okay, here's the kicker. We're paying a dime for every ad that we show, except only if they watch enough of it. So, when you see an ad and it goes on for like 5 seconds and you're like, gosh, skip, please, skip, and you're trying to skip it. The guy who showed you that ad, how much did he pay for that ad? A dime? No, nothing. He paid nothing. Even if 1 million people saw that and they all went to hit the skip button, he paid nothing. How long does somebody have to watch an ad before there's a charge of like a dime? Someone has to watch an ad for 30 seconds before there's a charge. That means we're targeting the right people, and only the guys who've watched a substantial amount of the video are going to have a charge. Okay, so now let me bring you back to this one. Say you're doing the impressions, like where the ad starts. How many people are even going to watch the video? Like percentage. Most of you guys are like, oh man, you need like 11,000 impressions. That's where your ad just started, but not yet charged anyone because it hasn't been 30 seconds. Nothing about the 5, but the 30. Okay. And you want to hear another secret? Is it 5 seconds before you hit the skip button? Nope. Starts counting before there's a 0 second. So even though it's showing you a countdown of 5, it's actually 6 seconds because they found 6 seconds is long enough for you to say something like a full sentence to get an idea in somebody's head, or to at least get them to pause before they hit skip, just in case, if it's in their territory, right? So if you're targeting the right audience with the right kind of thing for them, then you can show 1 million people, and everyone who hits skip, there was no charge. Everyone who watches 28 seconds and hits skip, no charge. So you're thinking, okay, then it doesn't matter if it's 11,000 impressions, as long as, like 1 or 2 or 3 people watch the video, right? Because then we can learn how to scale from 11,000 impressions to like 110,000 impressions to get from 30 people watch the video, or 3 people watch the video, to 30 people watch the video, right? Now, that's kind of the first goal. And also, as you know, there are markers for how far into a video people watch. Because, of course, not everyone's going to be either one or the other. It's not like they're going to skip or watch the whole thing. There's going to be a drop off the entire time, right? So you're hoping not everyone drops off before the end of the video when you're starting videos off. Well, I want to show you something because we're starting to dial this in. I've already had the experience of just trying to throw out YouTube ads blindly without knowing anything about audiences, just thinking everybody's going to be interested. No, that's a mistake. The other mistake is to get your ad to show up on the side panel as a related ad, because then you pay for every click. And those are not good for conversions. Those are good for branding. When people click one of those, they're looking to get this long educational discussion. Great. I mean, I can do that, right? I do that better than I do the fast pitch kind of thing. But the fact of the matter is, if you're aiming for conversions from brand new people who don't know anything about you yet, you're not trying to upsell them, you're just trying to get them to notice you, then you really want that in-stream kind of an ad that starts off at the beginning, because your job is to say, if I don't steer your attention away from wherever you were just meandering, you don't really need me right now. I can aim for you again later. I can retarget you based on if you watched at least 30 seconds, which I would do. I'd set up retargeting rules to try to get back at some of those people who've watched at least 30 seconds. You know why? Because the ones who don't like what I did aren't going to watch another 30 seconds. Or at least the ones who don't have an interest aren't going to watch another 30 seconds. So even if I retarget 1 million of those guys and none of them watch 30 seconds, it costs me nothing. Okay? But for the guys who watch again for 30 seconds and or longer, I'm really starting to get their attention. I'm starting to get myself registered in their mind. They're starting to recognize me and sort of recognize what we're talking about. So the next time it comes up, it makes more sense, and maybe they'll go ahead and finish watching it and go, oh, I do need that. Having said that, do you have to retarget people with the same ads? No. You can come up with rules, and you can say, hey, if somebody saw this one, show them that one. Show them that one. So we can do different angles as we go, retargeting from different points, answering objections, showing testimonials, showing ranking results, explaining the value of something, just short and quick. A lot of people think, shouldn't the video be like 30 seconds long? The answer is, turns out no. Most of the time, if your video is too short, you don't embed yourself in the mind long enough. Somebody might click through to the next thing, but they're still trying to discover who you are. And there's a lot there on that next page. So you need to warm them up enough so that when they land on the website, like this site here, they're landing on it with the right idea. They're landing on it with a sense of what this does do. Okay? How important it really is. How real it really is. Okay? That way they're landing on it with a sense of, okay, I know where I am. Let me explore more. Right? That's cool. That's what we want. Turns out, ads like that are generally 4 to 6 minutes. Okay? Even though you can skip after 5 seconds, even though 30 seconds is the time that it converts or not into a view that costs you anything. But you want to go like 4 to 6 minutes. So you would get their attention, show them some points about how it can work with them, or answer some just make some meaningful points, and then explain to them what they get when they continue, right? Give them a call to action or something. Okay? Now, let me show you so far on an extremely tight. I dialed in a campaign that's ultra tight because, like I said, I've spent a lot of money. I wanted to work on the variables closely. So let me just start here. This right here, this video, this 3 months of ranking proof, guys, right? We did it. 3-minute video, 3 months, really cool video. Does grab attention, does hold it if it's the right market. Brings them through and explains what to do next. Okay. So it's a lot of information condensed into 3 minutes and suggests to continue on. Okay, that's pretty good. Now, without spending a lot of time setting up truly professional videos, I said, let me work on the underlying campaign. Let me work on the audience stack, the YouTube channel lookalike stack. Let me look at the intent. Let me look at keyword lists, and let me put a bunch together. Well, what I wound up doing was creating a single campaign. Let me just show you. Okay. So here's what I did. First, I did this ad at the top that you see up here. Okay. Now, this ad had no call to action. It just said at the end of the ad, go to website-marketing-solutions.com. I forgot about adding the call to action. That's that little box on the side you can click on that brings you to the website. I didn't add it. But do you know what? That was beautiful because I discovered it shortly after it got approved and started to run. And here was the problem with it. Let me look at this and scroll down real quick. Most of the people are on a mobile phone. Not so many on tablets. Not so many were on computers. Most of them were on a mobile phone. Okay, which is a setting I can control. I could turn that off, but I'm not going to. What's the point though? They're on a mobile phone, and I didn't give them a button to click to get to the website. Right? That was a mistake. Simple mistake. Easy mistake when you're setting up your first ad. So, but I do want to show you something that's really important because it became valuable. Got 114 impressions from this extremely tight I said, it's got to be this really dialed in audience. It's got to be a member of that dialed in audience with one of these intents who's coming through one of these keyword searches on YouTube and has visited at least one of these YouTube channels. So, I mean, they have to pass all 4 of those criteria. Okay? And I just got, nuggets set out there to build this thing with. I didn't even get very exhaustive. I just said, okay, let me get something up to see what's happening. So I only got 114 impressions in like a day. Okay, this is like a day. Okay, out of which, though, it had 37 views, which again means 37 watched at least 30 seconds. Okay, that's nuts. That means basically 25% or something. What is, 37 divided by 114, right? I'm not kidding. Yeah, look at that. It's like 32.5%. It's basically a third, right? It's like 33, 1 in 3, basically. Watched at least 30 seconds worth of the ad. That's cool, all right? That normally doesn't happen. Normally you get a lot of impressions and no views, hardly, right? You get like 2 views for 10,000 impressions, which makes your ad expensive, okay? Because it's got a very low chance of being interesting enough to somebody, those people. Now, of the people who watched, total, of these 114 impressions, okay, over 20%, over 1 in 5, actually watched a quarter of it. Over 1 in 10 watched half of it. Nearly 9% watched 3/4 of it. And 7% of the 114 saw it all the way through. Okay? That's nuts, isn't it? That's, again, huge. That means I can almost count on a number like that, 7%. So if 114 people even saw it at all, 7% watched it all the way through. So like for every 100 people that even see my ad start, 7%, 7 out of 100, see it all the way to the end. Already, that's so many obstacles crossed off the list of obstacles, right? To get them from there to the website was the next step. That's what I didn't do. So I had this whole thing about the ads there, but there was no call to action button, and most of the people are seeing it on a mobile phone. So, yeah, no, didn't get any clicks through to the website, right? So, then I went here. And I made this Copycat Campaign. It's the same campaign, same, all the settings. Really, really dialed in. But this time, a conversion action. Okay? A button you can click on, like on a mobile phone. So the way this looks, okay, just to preview it, it's got this down here. Okay? So while this is talking, anytime you want, you can click this link down here. It says 5-minute setup. Start here. The button says start here, right? So like on a desktop, it looks like this, right? 5-minute setup, start here at the, bottom of the video, basically, right? So the whole video is running and they can start anytime they want, all right? Now, when I did that, I got slightly more impressions, not sure why, because it's been less time, but fewer views, fewer people watch 30 seconds in. You know why I think that is? Because that is pretty obvious. It's really strongly obvious, right? And so now people see it, right? So you've got to talk a little bit faster to get people to pause before they click on this. Because right now it's like, well, do I want to go or do I want to skip? But as long as this is interesting, you can get them to pause and see what happens there. So, a little less conversion, but look, still 7% altogether, 6.67%. Only slightly less. Only slightly less. Do you know how cool that is? Okay. I haven't checked to see whether we got visitors to the site yet because I haven't gotten to it. Maybe not. But this right here is most of the work done. Okay. This means that we know how to dial in our audience, dial in our intent, dial in our keywords, and dial in our YouTube channels. You know what I do to increase these impressions? Separate those into 4 different campaigns. Copycat campaigns, basically. They can have whichever ad I prefer out of this. And frankly, I prefer the one with the conversion action because it works on a mobile phone. Okay, and it's only slightly less conversion. So little, it could be random. It might just be the same conversion. Heck, this might even convert more over the course of time. Fact of the matter, though, is if I spread those 4 out, I can check out my audiences here and dial that in for the best audiences. I can check out my YouTube channels here separately and dial that in for the best. Check out my keywords, dial that in. Check out my intent, dial that in. How big can we make this is we dial this stuff in. Everybody with a struggling website, right? Everyone with a struggling website needs our service. It's like 99.99% of people who have websites out there. These audiences are like all audiences, basically, except that at least we can sort of chop into groups. Anybody interested in fitness? Yeah, they got fitness websites, right? Anybody interested in any kind of affiliate marketing, making money online, fitness, doctor, dentist, roofer, plumber, everyone out there counts. And then how do you identify kind of who they are or what kind of a mood they're in? You look them up by keywords like this. We're in the middle of a pandemic, which means what? Guys are turning around to figure out how to make more money from their website. So now they're doing more searches than ever for things like rank my website higher, learn SEO, marketing on Facebook, marketing on YouTube. All these guys who are at the beginning of this long, extensive training, self-training process to make more money. We hit them and say, you don't need to learn all that. Just let us do it for you. Well, just go ahead, tell us your website and your email for ranking reports, get on a subscription, and watch us do our magic. You don't even have to do anything. We don't even need access to your site. All you do is start. We'll get started. You'll start growing effortlessly. Spend your time on all the other stuff you need for your business, but you don't need to start learning how to SEO. Just let us do it. It's pretty cool, right? So We're dialing this in. And who are we aiming these ads at? That's the most important thing. The retail market. Retail market. Let me remind you what that is as soon as I point this out, because I'm pretty amazed by what we're learning and how it looks visually. So you can look at numbers like this. 238 impressions led to 63 views. And I haven't refreshed this page in a while, so I mean the numbers will change as soon as I do. Heck, I'll do it right now. Okay, just to show you. You know, it's totally a real page. Okay? So cool. Because it's just been really something else. Okay? 243 impressions, 65 views. 11 cents cost per view. With a view rate, that's over a quarter still. Like I was saying, 1 in 3, okay, fine. It's like 1 in 4, right? But isn't that nuts? So when you scroll down, this is how the audience retention looks. This is 100% of them saw it in the very, very, very beginning. This is the proof of that percentage I was talking about at the end. Except it's using both videos, remember. That's why the numbers are higher, like 243. It's using what I already ran and paused, which I might restart later, I'll see. And what we're running right now. So it's adding them together because, it's a combined campaign. 2 different ad groups in the same campaign. Anyway, here's what the history has been from the beginning of our first test. 100% started it. And by the end of the first 5 seconds, that's the biggest drop off. Everyone expects that, right? So what was that like at the end of 5 seconds? And I'll go 6 even just for the fun of it. Okay. 5 seconds. 6. 73% are still there at 6, but they're about to hit skip, aren't they? All right, let's just take it in, though. I mean, look at this. This is already, by the time the curve kind of hits this point, not even flattening out yet, this is 30 seconds. Okay? So at this point, there's 14%, right? And we're getting charged at that level. Now, by the time that we're done, it won't be 14% watched it all the way through, but 5% did. So from the time we got charged at 14% to the end, the 5%, think 15 to 5, basically a third were left, right? At the end of the video. Fine. So then what is our cost for getting someone all the way through the video? 3 clicks. Well, 3 costs, 3 views that go at least 30 seconds in, right? Well, that's kind of neat. So if we're looking at our first measurable, we can say, I can pay somebody about 33 cents to watch the video all the way through without me paying them 30. I can pay YouTube 33 cents, Google 33 cents for somebody to watch the video all the way through. Who's the right audience? That's cool, isn't it? Because by the time they're watching 3 minutes worth, I mean, I haven't even refined this video. I haven't even made it better. I haven't even used a real call to action. I didn't tell them that they'll get a benefit if they join now. I didn't do anything special in that. It was really a 3-minute update for existing guys. It starts off with, hey guys, we did it. We're making this happen. I mean, it's not my best video, right? I mean, this is child's play at this point, but this is 5% of retention rate. And really, the charge is just 3 times each person who watches it far enough to get a charge goes all the way through. So it's like 33 cents to get them to a point where they ought to go to the website. Dang. Because the cheapest thing they would get on the website is what? $125 a month subscription. You realize how big the window is there for the opportunity to make a lot of money? Okay. The cost to acquire the guy. And then the fact that they're going to typically pay each next month for continued growth. Retail guys. I'm saying retail for a reason. Those of you know about the website Portfolio Club, right? That's where we're going with this. Check this out. It's telling me which keywords are getting the sales. It's telling me which topics are basically intents, things that people are interested in that we selected, and audiences that we selected. Right? Who they have to belong to. Now, a reality check is this is one thing that's tightening us up hard, but it's the fact that I put all this in a single campaign, forcing everyone to have to do all these things to be in the group. It's telling us how many men are looking at this and how many women are, right? The darker the blue, the more people. And it's telling us the age group. So we are learning fast that our strongest group in this set is men between 25 and 34 and women between 35 and 44. I mean, so far, right? I mean, these things are going to keep changing over the course of time, but isn't that cool? It also tells us when the activity is hitting during the whole day, 12 a.m. to 6 a.m., and then like 12 p.m., 6 p.m., 12 a.m., okay? You know what's cool about that? We can run this ad for US, Canada, UK, Australia, and New Zealand. They all apply. They all apply. We can do retargeting videos too to reach back at these guys. Because how many of you guys think it's too bad that we lost these people at the 30-second mark? The 14% before it got down to 5, doesn't that mean we lost 9% of the people? Never to be heard from again? Of course not. The moment they crossed over by watching at least 30 seconds, they are on a retargeting list. We can send them the same video with a capped number of times per week that we do that. And we can send them other videos that we make with a capped number of times per week that we do that too. But with the purpose of branding and hitting the point from different angles so that they start to get used to us and what we're saying and start to realize that it has something to do with them. You see that? Huge. So can this be scaled to like literally 1 million impressions a day? Don't you think? Anything that has to do with ranking a website, anything that has to do with organic rank, anything that has to do with getting free sales, anything that has to do with outranking your competitors, anything like that is going to be hit by everyone. There's doctors who need it, dentists who need it, anybody, you know. And then there's even the website marketers who really want somebody else to do all the work. And there's all the backlinking guys. Okay, we can reach out to everyone who's trying to learn how to advertise on Facebook or advertise on LinkedIn, advertise on YouTube. Anyone who's interested in Google Ads, we can reach out to all of them. Okay, and put our points in front of them and then reach back at them over the course of time. And anyone who doesn't watch 30 seconds, anyone who keeps clicking away, they'll fade off our list by the act of not being on it enough for us to waste our time with. But for everybody that is watching enough, we're going to keep reaching out to them. And there's no reason really to cap impressions anyway. You might think, well, what if the guy's not interested in your ad and you always hit skip? You might think, well, okay, I'll just quit advertising to him. But is it doing him a favor? Nah, because YouTube's going to put some other ad there anyway. So what difference does it make? They're going to see an ad. Better be yours than someone else's. But still, YouTube has its own way of assessing, in such a way that it can help you make money if you're telling YouTube what you're looking for and it starts to realize, oh, this guy isn't the right guy. Definitely not. Then I'm just going to show it to this other guy instead. Make sense? Now, let me explain how this gets back to you directly. Okay? Those of you who know, there's a website portfolio club. You scroll to the bottom of the site and you can sign up for the website positions. Okay? So you can sign up here and then you can log in here. So when you sign up, you give us this basic information, and when you log in, you can go to the section called Available Open Positions. There are a whole lot in here, 1,006 that actually have to do with the metro areas times the industries that we've been working on right now in Nightwatch. Okay, we've got something like 317, 27, 36, 336 websites that we're working on in there just directly to reach out to them with sales and tell them what we can do for them. Okay, that's direct hands-on. But the rest of YouTube is the open-ended rest of the market. Everyone with a struggling website in America, Canada, the UK, Australia, and New Zealand. We're targeting them all. Okay, so does it really matter what you grab from in here? if you were to say, well, should I get chiropractor in Bronx, New York with a population reach of 1.4 million? If I'm subscribing at $125, I can claim all the clients in that area, because once you get it, we're going to start making sure to reach out to clients in those areas so we can start to onboard them, right? We'll drive graphs up, show them what we did, and when they go, oh man, I'm joining, then you start getting paid, okay? But does it really matter which subscription you get? No, we knew everybody would be scared to get one, right? You would be scared to choose. You don't know whether you should choose a chiropractor in Wake, North Carolina, right? So it doesn't matter what you get. Only thing you care about, honestly, it doesn't matter what you get. Just get a subscription at the level you can afford, okay? And get on a roll. Now, you have to pay 3 months in a row at the subscription level you want to qualify at that level. But the goal that we have in our system is this: retail. That's everybody coming in through YouTube. That's everybody coming in through the sales team, reaching out to these companies and onboarding them. Okay. What are we doing? We are getting you paid by those guys who are getting onboarded. Okay. So sales gets their cut for the sales guys doing direct sales, but then all of YouTube, no sales guy cut there. It just means more money to cover more ground. What's our goal for everyone on subscriptions, period? Everyone on subscriptions from low to high, to get you 3 times back on your subscription. Okay? So if you're paying $12.50 a month, our goal is to be paying you $3,750 a month back. That's our definite goal for everyone in the system. If you're paying $125 a month, our goal is to get you $375 a month back. Can you have more than one subscription? Yeah. Are there different price points in the middle? Yeah, there's $125 a month, $250, $500, $750, $1,000, and $12.50. So you've got all the options in the world. What makes some of the subscriptions more valuable than others? The population reach. Literally, the bigger the population, then the more competitors there are there. So the more work it takes to outrank the competitors there, which is why the subscription costs more. But those companies in those areas, that's what they pay for rank increases. This is what they pay to stay ahead of the game. They know it. They pay it. It's not news to a company. In case you're unaware, companies paying $12.50 a month for SEO or backlinking, not surprising at all. Regular brick and mortar companies in all industries paying different amounts. It just depends on their population reach. That defines whether they're paying like $250 or $500 a month. Can you get paid from multiple companies? Absolutely. We assign you as many as we want. So what do you think we do? We walk through the groups as these retail guys come in and just assign them to the wholesale guys left and right like that. Okay? That way, when you're paying the wholesale, that covers us for all the underlying stuff, paying for the servers, paying for the domains, paying for the website productions, paying for all the keyword research, video work, everything it takes to make the graphs happen and build them up, and then reach out to sales and have them contact all those guys. We've got a list that sales can look at right now that just instantly tells them who to contact and what to contact them about. Very simple, right? And it's exciting, and we can target them. Okay? So, with that in mind, we're going to be bringing lots of retailers on board. And when we do, you guys who are paying, you guys who are providing the stability for us to be able to pay for the campaigns and tweak them and maximize them, you're the ones who are receiving the retail. You get paid, and our goal is to be paying you 3 times over what you're paying in, because you're providing the stability for us to keep growing this into what we want to make almost like a stock market for website returns. You can always grab a position. You can always release and grab another. We can always assign guys to you, even separate from whatever position you have. It really doesn't matter what position you have. When you get a position, we'll just assume you're interested in it for a reason, okay? And we can start reaching out to that area in that industry. But for us, it's fine. Because what's our point? To be able to talk about all the companies in all the industries, okay? That's good for us. I mean, extra industries, getting them all to rank in no matter what area they're in, fine. I mean, that's totally good for us. Okay? So, if you're not in the Website Portfolio Club, get in. If you've made at least 3 payments and then let your subscription lapse, get back on it. If you've not started yet, start. Get your 3 qualifying payments in. Because how long do you think it's going to take us to finish figuring this out when we're learning literally by the day at this rate what we're doing and we're getting this close? In one day, we figured out that we're getting basically a 7% full watch rate. That 100% of the video gets seen by everyone who sees it, who's in the market. Okay? This is insane. And then at 11 cents, 10 cents a pop, that's insane. This dialed in one here now is down to 10 cents a pop. Let's do the math. Okay? Say 1,000 people watch, or 1,000 people see it. Out of which, like 70 people watch it all the way through. Out of which, one guy starts. One guy actually goes to the website. Probably out of the 70, like 10 guys will go to the website, and out of the 10, like one guy will start. Okay? Is that profitable? Yeah. Because if 1,000 people saw it, it would cost $100. So even if the guy came and started at $125 a month, it's still profitable the first month. And for every next month they pay, it's going to stay profitable. And you keep earning a residual from it. You're providing the foundation for us to get multiple clients paying. So even if some are dropping off, that's okay. Others are coming in. And we're going to keep juggling you up to make sure you're making 3 times or more. That's our whole goal. Okay, I can't say, I promise that will happen to you by the 4th month. I can't say it quite yet, but I am getting really close to being able to just say it's happening to lots of you. Okay, as soon as we open this thing up a little more, get some more ads in, get some retargeting ads going, we'll lock and load. And guys will come and they'll hop on subscriptions, and it's incredibly profitable. Just also, quick stats. Out of the whole thing that's been happening with retail clients, guys who've been coming in, they're averaging $450 a month that they're paying us, and they're paying for an average like 3 months at that level. In other words, whether they're paying $125 a month ongoing or paying $1,250, we're making about $1,250 per guy. Okay, and that is with COVID making it hard for guys to keep paying, and that's with COVID making it sort of pointless for guys to keep paying in the middle. Okay, we and also was just sort of like going through all this self-development to get to the highest level that we're performing at now. But now when guys come in, we did the math. We can take on like, what's the number? It's like possible for us to handle 9,000 clients a month if they actually joined, right? That we can literally be running ads, setting them up, showing them results, everything going live and climbing, like 9,000 a month at this point, okay? But if we got 9,000 in a month, we can scale everything really, really fast, right? We can scale servers, we can scale domains, we can scale the manpower that's doing their parts to push it out, make it happen. We can put out something like 1,900 websites a day right now, literally, okay? Where those 1,900 websites have 100 pages each and cover backlinks for like 50 companies each. No, sorry, 200 companies each. I got to keep track of my math here. It's really insane what we can do. And so what I mean to say is, yeah, this thing's about to explode. Okay, it's really close. So this is kind of just don't say I didn't tell you. Get in, get active, right? We want to be the wholesalers. We want you guys to be the retail level. We want this to become something like a stock market for website returns. I would love that to death. I really want that. I want to help everyone in the middle, and I want to find a place for everyone, whether they're in sales or whether they're providing the funds for everyone to grow. I want to pay the sales guys to do their videos. I want to get all this stuff going and keep pushing all this up. Okay? So I'm letting you know right now that this thing is going to bust open really, really quick. Okay? If you haven't seen guys who are paying $80,000 a month in ads because they're making 20 times that in returns. It's happening. I've seen that in the training we've been getting, where I was watching some calls with some technical fixes and accounts where guys are going, we just started, we happen to get lucky, we're doing really, really well. How do we tweak from here? And I'm watching a guy who's in charge, who knows how to tweak campaigns, going, okay, I get rid of this, I move this here, I separate this. And it's just like, oh my God. And we're learning full speed. Well, in just a couple of days, we learned a ton. What do you think we'll know in a couple of weeks? I mean, we don't play games here, right? So yeah, this is endgame. This is the point where we're just going to lock and load everybody retail and cover everybody in the system. So if I don't look excited, it's only because I'm going to leap out of my seat any minute, because these numbers are huge. You know, everyone's proud who's seeing them and saying, that's not funny. That's huge. All right, that was it. That was my point to you guys. Be part of it. Get in. Sign up. Okay? If you want to be in sales, be in sales. Okay? Because guess what we're also going to do with these winning campaigns anyway? We're going to figure out what ads are working the best, what videos are working the best. We're going to put them on the page, or allow you to use them on the front end. If you guys are in sales, you'll understand how you can do that. And that way you can go promoting those. We'll just tell you, hey, this one's got the best conversion rate, so you can go ahead and start putting those out where they make the most sense. Okay? So you can do that too. And you can use retargeting tricks too. You can put links out with the different videos that pop up immediately when somebody clicks the link. It brings them right there. So you can do that on forums, you know, for anyone in internet marketing. So if you're wondering, this is good for sales. But if you're like, I don't want to do sales, I just want to fund this. I want to crowd fund the development that gets me paid back on an ongoing basis. Then get in as a position club owner, position holder, and stay active. It's the active guys that we're taking care of first, because they're the ones paying us the most recently, like now. They're the ones that we need in the now, because this is now development, right? Like March payments covered March development. April payments cover April development. You know, March, April, May May payments cover May development. Here we are. But you know what we're working on now? At this level, we're reaching the end. All right. Hope you found this interesting. Hope you get involved. Hope you don't miss out. Thank you to everybody who's been pushing us this far. This is happening exactly because of everything you've done to get us through this period during this pandemic, starting way back in January. Okay, we got this far, and this is the beginning where it gets fun for everyone. All right, I can't wait to see where we're going to be by Christmas. Take care, guys. Thanks again. I can't wait to see all you guys just prosper from this. This is going to happen soon. All right.